almost 2 decades and he still comes.
How you doing, buddy? Brought you your favorite candies.
Come on, Lloyd, you gotta get over her. Mary Samsonite was just a girl.
Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. We are all here. It's been a while.
Yay.
Hurrah,
Yeah,
Ben, Christy, Matt, Alonzo, with Dumb and Dumber 2 of all things.
You came back just in time for Dumb and Dumber 2.
We have strategically selected Matt Atchity to
Yes.
describe the plot for Dumb and Dumber. Why don't you start backwards? Tell us what happened at the end.
I'm not sure. Dumb and Dumber 2 is the story. Harry and Lloyd get back together. Lloyd's been, I don't know, in a lunatic asylum or a home or whatever for 20 years. They get back together. Harry needs a kidney. They go on a road trip. I don't know how it all goes down because I walked out. Let's watch the clip.
It's a postcard from Freda Felcher. Harry, I'm pregnant. Please call me.
What do you think it means, Harry?
Lloyd, I'm gonna be a dad. Ah! Look at the postmark. 1991.
I had a daughter. I gave her up for adoption.
What if we go track her down?
You're hot for my daughter. What? Am I right? What? Am I right? That's insane.
I like her a lot.
I know she'll appreciate all the trouble you've gone to find her. Let's call her.
It's ringing.
Whoever this is, we're in the middle of something very important here.
This is your dad.
What?
Hey, guys, I know this is weird timing, but I gotta take this. It's my dad.
She's got me on hold.
Mikey?
Yeah, Gran.
I've got the diamonds.
Mikey's listening.
They're underneath me.
Did you hide them inside this turkey?
They're just above the giblets.
No diamonds in here.
You can cross that one off your bucket list.
Now, what is the last movie you walked out of? Or is there any?
This is the first movie I've
Wow.
walked out of
Wait, I
professionally.
thought you walked out of A Million Ways to Die in the West.
No.
But you didn't. You stuck it out.
Right.
And this you left. So what
This I
made
left.
you? Were you so shocked? Were you so offended?
No, it
What
wasn't
is
that I was shocked. I got to a point in this movie relatively early on, actually. So the thing that set me off about this movie, I could deal with the fact that it wasn't very funny because there were very few laughs. But then there's a point at which you meet Harry's parents, which is this Chinese couple, I believe. And I found that scene to be shockingly racist. And at that point, the movie started to lose me. And then so I start to consider, like, I got work to do. I
got to drive home to the valley.
There's dishes in the dishwasher. There's laundry.
Really piling up.
There's laundry to be done.
That's more fun.
And I started thinking of things that I would be better off spending my time doing than sitting through this movie. And then the mom from Honey Boo Boo shows up. And it's like, okay, this movie's got about 10 minutes. It's got about 10 minutes to do something. And we get to the funnel nut scene where Rob Riggle's playing this game. And I was like, I get through that scene, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm out. There was nothing there. I can't remember the last time I felt like a movie was a waste of my time.
It didn't change drastically from there, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it was not like I was like, oh, the second half was so much better than the first half. It's a huge twist at the end.
Yeah. They're actually dead.
It gets watched. The huge twist is it's watchable.
Yeah.
There's been movies that I have reacted very badly to on this show, and I've ranted about Grown Ups 2. I've ranted about Sucker Punch, but those movies at least are not necessarily boring. Like for all its faults, Sucker Punch is not boring. It does a lot of stuff terribly wrong. Grown Ups 2, it's almost like watching a traffic accident. This one, that you can put Jim Carrey in a movie like this and have almost no laughs from him. And he's not doing anything that justifies laughing or even that you would cast him.
You know what's funny about you walking out the halfway point? As you guys probably know, I'm a huge Howard Stern fan. I listen every day. And Howard has this thing, because he's a big shot and he can't go to the movie theaters for screenings, they send him, the studios give him elite screening access where he can punch in a program and it comes up on a screen. And it kept restarting. So he tried twice. He watched the first half twice, and then he had to take a break, and then he had to reset. And he was like, "I can't do it. I can't watch I can't do it." So he had Jim Carrey on, and he was raving about the first half. He's like, "I haven't seen the second half, but I loved the first half."
So here, you mentioned...
Yeah, Howard's wrong.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it. For those of you who actually stuck it out for the whole thing, what are your thoughts? Because we know what Matt thinks.
I was going to say, I want to talk about the point you made about the shockingly, offensively racist Asian couple. So I think how the Farrellys, in their own minds, get around this is that they're equal opportunity in who they make fun of, but they're also out of their way inclusive of characters who might be developmentally disabled, they might be in a wheelchair. I mean, I'm not saying it's right, I'm saying that is their logic, it seems, in terms of casting and casting a broad net.
And they're putting all this stuff in the mouths of idiots, right? Is that the deal?
So right, yeah. It's satire.
Yeah, so,
yes.
Right. But that said,
satire.
It didn't earn that.
I think it didn't earn it, and I didn't find that particular scene shockingly racist. I thought it was a bit racialist, and it was not funny and not really handled well. Like, I got more of what they were going for in it, and you're supposed to laugh at Jim Carrey laughing at the fact that he thinks that she's speaking gibberish instead of recognizing that it's Chinese. But I think because he's so inconsistent about what he knows and what he doesn't know, the character, that it takes away from it. I just don't think it was particularly deftly handled. I was more uncomfortable with the scene that you did not get to later, where they make fun of people with ALS. And again, same thing. They don't think they're making fun of people with ALS, but the end result is that you're laughing at the guy with the Stephen Hawking-like character who comes up and tries to get into an argument with them, and they're arguing with his computer voice. And again, they think the joke is that these guys are so dumb they don't know that, but it's just uncomfortable and not in the way that when comedy works, that works, and it didn't work, so it becomes super uncomfortable.
My issue with this movie is over and above the lack of laughs. I found, at least the half that I watched, to be really mean-spirited, and then there's an inconsistency to a movie like Airplane that's over the top silly, or even the Farrelly brothers' Three Stooges. Like, that exists in this kind of cartoony world where you kind of buy the reality that the Stooges live in.
Right.
In this one, I couldn't find a basis of a world that these characters would exist in.
It was all over the place.
Because it was all over the place, and I thought it sometimes there's no way that these characters, there was no, I'm not looking for a grounded reality. Like, again, Airplane's a great example of a movie that's so over the top. Like, that world obviously doesn't exist and would never exist. But this movie,
But it has an internal logic.
but it has an
to
internal, if not logic, at least consistency.
Consistent, yeah.
This movie is not like that. This movie,
it's not.
sometimes people react in such a way that it's like, what the fuck who are these people?
It's funny, there's a, sorry to interrupt you, the Farrellys did an interview with the Wall Street Journal about why they came back to these characters. And supposedly this is their most watched movie ever. People love these characters because they have no arc. Right, because they don't change, because they are consistent in their stupidity.
They don't learn anything.
Right, they don't get better. They don't get hearts of gold. Although they do kind of. You missed it. There's a whole thing with a kidney. They do kind of get better. I can talk to you about this.
Yes, a little. But no,
they do. They have a heart, somewhat, right?
Yeah, they do, and that's
it's false.
But I mean,
totally false.
their point is fair, but it doesn't change what Matt and Alonzo were saying. Is that the world is not consistent.
Right.
The movie doesn't follow its own rules. Yeah, they don't grow as characters. But if that's your big selling point, then you're...
Because even there's something about Mary, I mean, again, I haven't seen this one, but there's something about Mary operates in a world where all these characters behave weirdly in a consistent sort of way that meshes, that's organic, so that even if, the real world doesn't intrude upon the sort of weird bubble that the movie gives you. It sounds like this one...
Kingpin is great that way. That's probably their best movie, I think.
I love Kingpin.
Yeah, that's funny all the time. And you have idiotic characters there, but they're
mean.
consistently idiotic and they're lovable. These guys are lovable.
That's right. There is a degree of mean-spiritedness in here, and when you add mean-spiritedness in without being funny, like you can be mean-spirited, but you better be incredibly funny if you're going to do that.
Gone Girl.
Right.
It's really funny.
And really mean.
But right off the bat, it opens with a shot of Washington, D.C. that makes it look like, and with music that says to you, political thriller, right? And then, literally the shot changes to where it looks like then you're outside of a psychiatric hospital where Jim Carrey is. And tonally, it changed to where that, to me, looked like a soap opera. So they set up this thing that I thought, well, we're going to pretend that this is something, I didn't know anything. I thought, look what's happened. They're They've been they're Secret Service agents or they're advisors to the president.
They're congressmen.
Right, they're congressmen. Right, all of a sudden that's already funnier, right? Somehow these guys got elected, but it isn't. They just did that for 4 seconds, and then tonally it shifted significantly, and that happened sort of throughout. And there were some scenes in there that were just clearly little vignettes that went in that didn't belong. There's a scene of Jim Carrey, it's in the trailer, a dog is barking ferociously at him, clearly wants to kill him, and he doesn't get it. And he's like, and it just so clearly exists outside what was happening. And any momentum that it built up, and it built up very little, I thought always ran into a brick wall of slowness or inconsistency or a tonal shift that took you out of whatever moment they were trying to do. And they didn't do a great job of building it in the first place.
It's totally scattershot, yeah. And it's also it's depressing to think about what these guys have done dramatically since Dumb and Dumber came out 20 whatever years ago. Like, we know Jim Carrey's got so much more in him comedically and dramatically. Look at Jeff Daniels every week on the newsroom. Exactly. It's depressing in that way. Also, Kathleen Turner, when we talk about mean-spiritedness, Kathleen Turner's entire character exists just for like misogynistic slut jokes, right? Yeah. She refers to herself as a Titanic whore, and part of the joke of the movie is that part of the movie is like nobody knows who the daughter is, who Jeff Daniels thinks he's the father of, and it's sad. It's a waste of all these folks.
Yeah, it's not good.
All right, and numbers.
I'm the high person here, and I feel high on it. 3.9 doesn't matter.
I'm disappointed.
2.7, and you say
0.
Right.
Yes, I did not watch this whole movie, and I'm still giving it a score. It's a 0.
Well,
I'm
comfortable with my 3.9 because our overall score is a 2.2.
It's still too high. Shockingly in the 40s on Rotten Tomatoes right now. You have to fix that.
Gag reel at the end is effortless and unfunny.
Oh yeah. This is an
they
hour.
Justified having a
long.
gag reel? Come on.
Oh, just over the credits, they show like outtakes of things of them doing wacky stuff.
It's not outtakes.
Oh, it's the same
just
stuff.
scenes from the movie.
It's just takes.
It's like, hey, look at these are 20 years ago, and here it is now. It's again. It felt effortless. It felt like the bad kind of effortless, like without effort. Not, oh, I'm so good at this, I can be funny without me. So, all right.
Bye.